Right, welcome guys to the CineShow Podcast, and this is one of our special retro review episodes, and this time it is...
Aliens!
Not Alien, or any of the other interpretations.
This time it's war.
This is Jim Cameron's interpretation of it.
Yes.
And today we've got a special guest who's self-declared that this is his favourite ever film, so therefore the pressure's on.
Yeah.
It is.
And this is...
Cooky. From
Cooky.
Cooky Cooks.
From Cooky Cooks.
What
Now,
do you do, Cooky Cooks? What does that mean? What does it mean?
I'll put something up somewhere,
Yeah.
above your head or something, like a little trailer or something from
You
your
could
socials.
get that logo on over my face.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I might do that anyway. But I might have a pizza on your face.
Well, let's show what you brought us. Let's show the viewers at home. Look at that.
That bad boy.
And there's a pepperoni one underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
free pizza for you.
You
Cheers.
can
Well,
come.
appreciate
you can
it.
come every time. I'll move that out of the way now.
Appreciate it.
It's alright.
Put these down here. What do you do, Cookie? What is Cookie? What?
Anything. Everything.
Do you pop up?
Pop-ups. Events, yeah. They're my favourite types of things to do. We cook anything we want to cook. That's why it's Cooky Cooks.
Andy, I think it's fair to say you're a popular character.
Yeah, maybe.
You're a friendly face. I've spent time with you and I've noticed that everybody that is around you just smiles constantly.
I
Thanks,
will
mate.
also say I'm yet to find someone to say anything negative about
And he
it.
does try.
Ah,
But they do say that the quiet ones and the nice ones are normally the worst. Like you've probably got
Yeah,
some
yeah.
bodies buried somewhere.
yeah, well, I've been meaning to
Is that what you've
say
been cooking?
something.
Is that your pepperoni?
Yeah, it's ground up things,
That's what it is. It's
yeah,
not ground beef.
Yeah, no, it's no flour, no nothing like that. No.
So yeah, if that's your kind of thing.
So we're reviewing Aliens. So James Cameron, 1986, starring Sigourney Weaver, Lance Henriksen,
Yeah,
Bill Paxton,
quality.
Michael Bean or Bain?
I was going to ask
Bain.
this. Is it Bain?
Bain.
Bane.
Michael
Yeah.
Bain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? Oh, Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to him. I'll get to him
Of
later.
Mad About You fame.
Yes. Was he in My Two Dads or one of
No.
those type of?
He wasn't in that one.
No.
It was. That's what I just said to you. Mad About You. It was with Helen Hunt.
Well,
Mad
like a
O-
sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was that's
Yeah,
Was that
with
early
Helen Hunt.
90s,
It's, yeah.
That film?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very popular. It
Well,
was a show- it
carry
was
on
a
talking
TV
about
show.
that because I forgot to.
He's also recently in Stranger Things.
He was,
As like,
yeah.
He certainly
I forget, he
was.
was so good in it.
I did have a look last night about him actually because I thought I'd seen him in quite a few other things. I want to look.
Yeah,
for
oh, he's been in
I've
loads
seen
of
him
stuff.
anything else.
Yeah.
Would you like a plot
Something
synopsis? A Google
Yes.
plot synopsis.
Yeah, run it through me.
Right, here we go. Ellen Ripley is sent back to the planet LV-426 to establish contact with a terraforming colony. Once there, she encounters the alien queen and her offspring, and has to fight them to survive. So,
what a good job she does.
where
as well.
where to begin? Should we talk about Jimmy first? Jimmy Cameron?
Yeah, I mean, what I'd like to ask you straight off is it's widely renowned to be one of the few sequels that is better than the first.
Yes.
Now, I have issue with that personally because I absolutely love the first film, massive Ridley Scott fan. So I would say personally they're on even keel. Totally different types of film. One's an
yeah.
action film, one's kind of a horror film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the first one was geared up to be a horror. wasn't
It was,
That
yeah. It's like it was
probably
a space horror. So
Yeah.
I think effectively Ridley Scott getting it funded went around pitching it as Star Wars. If Star Wars was a horror or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or a horror in space,
Yeah.
yeah. Which seems quite often now, but it wasn't like the
Yeah, yeah.
done
Well,
thing
on the
like that.
tagline for the original thing, no one can hear
He
you
was
scream.
screaming in
Yeah.
space, yeah. In space, no one can hear you
Yeah,
scream,
that's
yeah.
it,
Whereas
So
this
there's sort of
one
like-
is This Time It's War. It's a
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
It's an action film.
It's
like
an
you
action
say.
film, out and out action film. There's they kept the horror elements, but I would say out of the two, I wouldn't say either was better than the other. Personally, the viewing.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I watched Aliens first. Bear in mind, in 1986, I was only 5 years old. So it was quite a few years later when I actually got to see it.
Yeah.
But it was the first one I saw. I never saw Alien.
Yeah.
I saw Aliens first. So when I watched Alien, it seemed a bit more low-key. Because there's
Well,
only one in
it's
it, isn't there?
played a bit more straight
Yeah.
by a mile. This is like there's a lot of cheese in Aliens, but that's what sort of made it a bit of a tentpole movie.
Well, it came out on VHS in 1987. So it was, I think it came out August '86 at the Flicks and February '87 on VHS. So that's again a lot different than it is now. So there was that long wait.
Yeah,
so people did go to the cinema because
For
they
a
knew you
long,
weren't going
it
to
would have
see
been on
something.
it would have been on the cinema for a long
Yeah,
time
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
have gone for a while.
So
Yeah.
it was. So I remember seeing it on VHS in '87 with Nicholas Whitaker at his house. His dad rented it out for us. Nicholas, if you are still around, I don't know. You may not even be alive because we didn't stay friends that long.
Did he what? You rented the house just for you to watch Aliens?
He rented the house.
Yeah. No. You said you rented a house or something.
Did I?
Yeah.
I got that.
No,
as well.
rented it out.
Fucking-
Rented it out.
I thought he said-
It may have been. There may have been a rent. It may have been a rental that they lived in. Maybe they did.
No,
rent.
but it did sound specifically like that.
Did he? He
did
didn't
that
rent
for
a house.
you.
It wasn't. I mean, it was obviously a big deal, but we didn't rent a house just
Just
to
to watch
it.
Aliens.
So '86. So I'd have been 13. Was it?
Okay.
What is it? It's an 18.
It's an 18.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've
So
spoken
that's
about
another
this.
one. We've done this
We
before.
spoke about
most films with
this
we
parental
saw, we were-
abuse.
Yeah.
we were too
Because
young.
I think I would have been about 10 the
Yeah.
first time I got.
Yeah,
involved with it.
I must have been around
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alien was 79, so there was quite a gap
Year I was
before they made this. Obviously not planned when they made Alien that there was going to necessarily be a sequel, but obviously Alien was that
79
did
is
that
quite
well.
early, isn't it, for a film?
And I'm
like
glad you
that,
say
I
that,
think,
mate, because that's the year I was born. So.
Yeah.
And you didn't say it was a long time ago.
No,
so-
I think
No,
I
'cause
saw
that was only 80.
I think
Yeah.
I saw Aliens before Alien. Thinking
Yeah,
about it.
definitely.
I don't think I did.
No.
No, I think I watched Alien first. I think I watched them in order, yeah. So I think maybe that's a reason why I've got a bit of a different opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe because it's the first one you saw. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but Aliens, I do remember it being quite a departure to the tone and the feel of it, but it was so good that it never really distracted me. But I
Yeah.
think if it wasn't good, I could have quite easily gone, not having that. I'm not buying
Yeah,
that. You know
it
what I
could
mean?
have
You
been
took a
really
really good, straight horror concept and just gone Hollywood with it. But it's just such a good film.
I found when I was rewatching it, it stays quite tense all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music is unreal.
Yeah. We was
The
on
hammer-
We
that,
were talking
yeah.
about the score the
Yeah.
other day. We'll come to the score later
it
because
James
it's in
Horner?
particular. Yeah, it is James
Yeah.
Horner. Yeah. But yeah, it is tense all the way through. What I didn't realise till rewatching it again, even though I've seen it 1,000 times, is an hour before you even see an alien.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite a long time.
All that kind of build up and stuff.
Yeah.
Just before we get into the kind of the nuts and bolts of the film. So James Cameron, obviously.
Yeah.
So am I right in thinking then that before this he'd done Terminator. And he'd done, I think it was Piranha 2, which
Yes.
was quite a bad film.
That was his first film, right?
Yeah, I never quite got my head around how that was so bad and Terminator was so good. Maybe he just
Yeah.
found the right people to work with or
I
something.
think
I don't know.
that's just a lot of first-time directors tend to just take the first offer,
Yeah.
and it's
Get a job
normally
in.
not something they've written.
Yeah,
Not all. Like
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
like people like Tarantino who did.
I think you probably
Reservoir
bang
Dogs,
on with
stuff
that.
like
I think he had,
But yeah, when it comes to some people, they're just trying to get on the ladder.
Yeah.
It's like getting on the property ladder. Then when you're on it, you can start flexing your muscles. But you've still got to do a job with it. So if you didn't do a great deal of job with Piranha 2, it's amazing that he got his own work
yeah.
funded. Or maybe he just decided to go down
Yeah.
the traditional route. But
And his films have remained big. So Aliens is a big film.
he is
Even though it's almost like it's really a one location film, kind of.
Yeah. it's
Once
not-
they
it's
kind of
not
once they
really
kind of land on LV 426.
6, yeah.
UB40.
UB40. It is actually, but it feels big, doesn't it? It feels big
Yeah.
inside with all the
it's
matte
Pinewood,
painting
wasn't it?
stuff and all the kind of the scenery stuff and all the rest of it.
Didn't they use the trick with the mirrors in some of the scenes, to make it look like it was bigger? Like, when the
Possibly.
pod's open.
Yeah,
at the
no,
beginning.
there's a matte painting on some of it.
Yeah.
So some of it's matte painting.
Yeah.
So like the top bit, so you see him walking through the tunnel, particularly with the H.R. Geiger stuff on the walls. I'm pretty certain there's like matte painting.
Well, a lot of it, but yeah, and
I
even
know, I
the
think-
flying
I
in
think it's
scenes and
actually
stuff
not
will have been.
post matte painting. I think it's matte painting in thingy, but there's just forced perspective. So some of it, if you was walking through it, I think it's a frame. I think I've seen that on the behind the scenes stuff on this.
Yeah.
To make it look
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So it'll be like they'll be walking through like a frame like that of that thing, but when you get the camera in the right angle, it'll just look like one continued piece.
Yeah.
It's clever stuff.
There was
Yeah.
a thing. There's a really good documentary on Disney Plus called Light and Magic, all about industrial light and magic, and
It's brilliant.
and there's a lot of matte painting stuff in there. And I didn't realise that nowadays that new green screen they have, which isn't actually a green screen. So now they have a
Yeah, LED
massive
wall.
studio,
Oh,
and it's a
yeah.
video wall all the way around.
Yeah.
So the first big one to do that on that scale and trust it was Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Oh, is that what it
I
was?
said.
I didn't know if I thought it might have been a Marvel film, maybe.
Yeah, I think for some scenes potentially, but the
Yeah.
one to go all out with it was Mandalorian.
So for people that don't know, they now use, so Light and Magic and particularly Disney, use this giant circular video screen that goes all the way around a set, and that projects image, and the image will actually interact with the camera, so that whatever angle you're kind of viewing that.
But you do realise that Alien also has that. So do you know when the she goes to move and bring the transport over to pick them up, and there's an alien inside, and it crashes? That bit you see, you're looking at a cinema screen, and then it's just props in front of it, and they jump behind the prop.
Oh, yeah,
But it's actually a cinema screen.
Really?
Yeah, in one shot. Yeah, it's not post.
That's great.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And now you've seen it.
You'll
go.
never-
Yeah, that's.
Well, I thought the
nice.
same with this screen thing, because like you say, the Mandalorian, and then they've used it also for Andor. Unfortunately, now I wish I hadn't watched that ILM thing, because now you can see, and I can almost see, well, that's obviously the set bit, and then you can almost see where the video wall would start.
That's one of the worst things about being into films, is like the first time you go on any course and you learn about stuff, you tend to watch film in a completely different way all
you start
the
picking
time.
bones, don't you?
Like, and if you make your own films, you'll never see it how other people see it. You'll because you've always got that fourth wall perspective, and you'll realise that
you know what went into it
and stuff like that, and you'll never see it as a narrative intended as a film. And that sometimes you can get a bit like that as a film buff, because you start learning about behind the scenes stuff, and it's kind of that. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't really take it away from a film like that. But yeah, it was
very clever.
great.
I mean, it was what, quite a lot of years ago.
Well, we talked about this.
40,
We
really.
talked about this when we did the Total Recall one, and for me, I still argue that stuff, the models that they've used, obviously for flying in with the big kind of fusion reactor things that you use in those miniatures and stuff, to me, still look more real than CGI.
It always will.
And as you said, it's a lot of it is about the lighting as well, because you're getting actual real lights involved.
It is sort of real though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just on a very small scale. So you are going to get the little intricate
the
bits in
aliens in this, even though some shots are clearly men in suits, look more to me like aliens than a CGI alien.
But a lot of the transporter truck stuff in this is miniatures. I say miniatures; they're still like
massive.
That big.
Yeah.
But they're nowhere near the size of.
I love that little transporter tank thing.
Yeah, what's it called? I can't remember. There's a name for it, but
yeah.
it's so good. Yeah.
I actually wrote in my notes about it.
It's actually an old-fashioned British armoured truck. What they just put a veneer on it.
Oh, it's like a basic shell.
Like something that they would wear. They're doing like thing in the Middle East. That kind of truck. If I'll try and find the picture, I'll put it up somewhere. But it shows you the original piece, and they just like putting a veneer on it. To look like that, which looks a little bit like the Batman.
I like all that sort of stuff.
So going back then, so I said that the aliens don't appear for the first hour. Riddle me this: why then is that first hour so absolutely brilliant?
Because of the first film.
But in theory, it shouldn't work, and you might argue it might not for a lot of filmmakers and a lot of modern films. If you're making a sequel based on an iconic creature or character, and that character or creature doesn't appear for the first hour of the film, that wouldn't work in a lot of cases.
No.
Whereas, but this does. You are still engrossed in what's happening in that first hour, even though it has nothing to do with, or you don't see any alien attack monsters.
I've just thought though, doesn't the dream at the beginning with Ripley?
You've got the pop out bit.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get to, I guess, is that it's just so well written.
Yeah.
The characters are so fleshed out that you're not bothered.
No.
That you're waiting so long to see
an
an
element
alien.
of like there's a bit of suspense and like unknown stuff going on. It's like you don't really.
But I think one of that also goes down to
there's the build up, isn't there?
Actors as well.
Yeah.
Everybody in that has such a puts a Hollywood performance in. Every single person, like you look at them, and there's no real sort of like weak link in that cast. And it keeps you, especially for that time as well, it keeps you engrossed so much because you're watching an action. You're watching a Hollywood action film. So you're going to allow people to say some cheesy lines here and there. Whereas if you was watching like a war film or something like that and people was playing it that way, you'd immediately be like,
the characters are so memorable, aren't they? They're so well written and fleshed out.
I think the sets as well are quite good.
Yeah.
They have definitely got that outer space. It feels like they're not on a
British craftsman. That was British craft. I think it was Pinewood, wasn't it?
Was it a Pinewood?
Yeah, and
that was still the problem, wasn't it? With him not getting on with.
He's never shot here again because he didn't get on with the crew. The crew hated him. Jim Cameron.
Really?
Apparently he was a knob, and then they just didn't.
He couldn't get his head around the tea breaks. So in this country we had tea breaks. Tea and biscuits, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Whereas in America, they just kind of
There's a story where they'd filled the setup with atmosphere, and you have to get it at a certain level because it's either too thick for the camera to see what it wants, or it's too thin that it's a waste of time. So you wait quite a while until the director of photography is happy with that, and then apparently they was about to start shooting when they'd got there, and in a couple of hours of like getting the set up, and some tea lady opened like one of the shutters and. Because it was the time for tea, and let all the atmos out, and everyone just goes, all the crew just starts running to go and get their tea and stuff like that, because they have tea at 11 o'clock. And there was like strict rules and stuff like that about what hours they couldn't work. But there was also apparently a bit of animosity, because a lot of people who work on film crews are massive film fans. Not all. I've worked on film sets where people said that don't even watch films. It's just a job to them. But most of them are. So there was a little bit of needle about the fact that it wasn't Ridley Scott doing it, the British director. There's a lot of them who worked on the original film. One of them being an AD. I think it was the AD. I can't remember. It was potentially a producer or an AD. Did not get on with him at all. Wanted Ridley Scott to continue it. So every single thing that Jim Cameron put forward, he was like, no, that's wrong. And then the worst part is apparently he'd just go and do it his own way.
Right. So
in the end, Jim Cameron got him fired, and he was quite beloved. So the crew then hated him. Hated him. So apparently it's amazing it got made.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, Jim Cameron has never made a film in Pinewood ever again.
What was the reason why Ridley Scott didn't do the sequel? Do you know?
He was going on to Blade Runner, and he did Blade Runner first, didn't he? Yeah. I think it was just projects he was on.
And the studio obviously wanted to get it done.
Yeah, and maybe just it went a different way, and maybe he wasn't interested in kind of.
The thing is, all this stuff, it all sounds quite bad. It must have been annoying for other people, but made a bloody good film.
Yeah, but you get that a lot. It's like things like Jaws, where the shark didn't work, but you end up with an absolutely brilliant film because part of that added to why it ended up like it did.
Sometimes with films, you could have everything perfect, right? Director, actors, settings, CGI, whatever, and it can just be a.
God, so quite a lot. More often than not now, as well, I'd say.
You probably need the crap you had going on behind the scenes. It might actually make a better
film. The atmosphere to get people working.
So, and atmosphere-wise, so with this first hour, like I say as well, so we've got the writing, we've got the well-drawn characters, we've got the setting, the cinematography, how it looks. We've also got the build-up, the tension, knowing that what we know is how fucking scary and terrifying these aliens are, and that's where they're heading. So that's always there.
So that's why I say to you that first hour is heavily leaning on the first film. Because our brains remember that. And then we also kind of know, because you would have seen a trailer at that point, that it's going to go on steroids. Because Alien has one alien in it. This is now multiple.
And we've already in the trailer. I think we've already seen the. Is it Hicks does the backward roll as he's shooting the alien. So that was in the original trailer.
Do you know what in the trailer?
So you know that you're in.
Do you know what I think was a brilliant choice in the writers' room was to put them in somewhere where they said if the whole place will go up if they start shooting. So not only did he put them in that tense situation, he was then like, you can't use your guns. That was brilliant because the tension just went up tenfold. Yeah, because it gets dropped in there, doesn't it? Yeah. It's almost like, I think Ripley noticed it, doesn't she, when she's looking at the map or whatever. And it's like, look where you are. There was on a thermal plate,
which is brilliant because it's kind of, if it's not bad enough, it's just got even worse.
Yeah, you've got
and the fact that they hand it over, but then they slyly sort of hand each other some secret thing. It's just such a good way of setting it up. Vasquez and Chalk, or whatever his name was.
I can remember his name, but she's definitely Vasquez.
But She's actually the lady who played Vasquez has been in quite a few Cameron films. She's in Titanic.
I think they were in a relationship at some point. I'm sure they were.
I don't think they was.
I thought
think
they were a couple.
He was with Linda Hamilton, and then he ended up dropping her for the young woman in Titanic whose gran is telling the story. They got married for a little bit, and I think he's dropped her since.
That's her.
You're the player.
That's not her.
Vasquez is in Titanic though.
She's an old woman though. She's an old Irish woman.
What?
Yeah, she's an old. She's
I
in
thought she was like proper like Mexican or something.
He's talking about somebody else.
No, Vasquez.
Vasquez is not Irish.
No, in this film, in Titanic, the woman who plays Vasquez is in Titanic, and she plays like a 50-year-old Irish woman.
But I thought that's who we then ended up with after Linda Hamilton.
No, not to my knowledge. No.
Well, that's
No, but he has been through a few.
good actor then.
I mean, not that it's any of our business.
Yeah.
No. Well,
But yeah, but I'll tell you what, on the gun sound thing of it is sound design as well. Sound design for this film is unreal. The sounds of
the guns,
the blasters,
the
pulse rifles.
Pulse rifles. I love that, and I love that they put it in Romulus.
Yeah,
they did put the sounds, didn't they?
Yeah.
Romulus?
So this goes back to what we were saying the other day about the different versions.
Yeah.
So I watched the standard theatrical
that's what I watched,
cut,
yeah.
and then we've got the extended version,
which has got the automatic Bren guns in the hallway where they put them out.
So there's a big scene
So
on that.
good.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
they set them up, and it literally
and you just see the
quite a
bullet
lot-
counter going down.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
I understand.
I wish I watched that
I
version,
understand why that got caught, because it didn't necessarily do anything for the thing, but it was a great scene to watch. So having
because
having
it
the
goes
option.
through what?
Yeah, and it
thousands
lands.
of them,
It ends on about 3 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just stops just before it
yeah.
runs out. And then we've got a little bit of Newt backstory in the extended one, where she's there with
Yes.
the parents,
Yeah.
isn't she?
That's right. Yeah, there's a scene how they kind of got there.
Yeah.
And thing, yeah.
Just what I want about the sound stuff, because something I noticed last night, and I mean I've watched that film a lot. When the aliens scream, I think it's just speeded up elephant noises.
It just sounds very
yeah,
elephantic.
they're in there. Elephants in there. Some steel screech,
Like,
metal on metal screeching.
Did you find that because you were reviewing it? Did you find that you watched it slightly
watch it
differently?
different?
Yeah,
I've never done it before. That
yeah.
way.
No, I found that
Yeah.
with everything I'm watching.
I'll be honest. It kind of. I found myself going.
Watching it again. Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I like that bit.
Yeah.
So going back to what I just said to you about when you do film courses, that's the same thing. So when you then watch a film, I remember when I did a part of my degree was doing film critique, and I did a dissertation on Reservoir Dogs, and I love that film. But the way I had to go about that was so petty and picky to actually have stuff to say that from that day forward, I've never watched a film the same again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Wow.
But like I do watch it, I'm just like, and I think it's also worse for people watching films with me, because I'm like, yeah, that's this or that's that, and they're just like, fucking, can we just watch a film, please?
Sometimes I get it, because sometimes we go out for some food and someone will go, is that pizza better than yours? It's like, oh, come on. But every pizza's nice. It's just everything's different.
Every pizza isn't nice.
Yeah.
There
No,
are
that's
a
true.
lot of bad, there are a lot of bad
that is
pizzas.
true.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say about the beginning was that it ties in really well with the first one.
The beginning.
Yeah, they don't have to do much, but they cover what happened to the crew on board. There's the bit where she's in the meeting room and they flash up the characters.
Which is quite nice, that really, because I haven't watched the first one for a long time. So when the characters were shown, I was like, oh yeah, I remember them characters.
And then Burke, Paul Reiser, pipes up. I think possibly it's in that meeting as well, and he explains to them what.
Yeah. What a great villain he is in that
Ripley
film.
had, Ripley had been through.
For a slight portion of the film, you do kind of like him.
Yeah.
He's like just a bummed idiot who's just.
He looks
in
like
that
he's winging it
situation.
a little bit, but
Yeah.
he's so 80s, because I noticed his suit last night, and it's got like this tiny little.
Is it a
thing.
granddad? It's like a granddad thing.
It's like all he needed was just
Costume
a
as
little
well.
bit of a mullet, and it was the 80s look all over.
Costume. We have to give credit to the costume. Some of the fucking suits that they've got on are so cool.
Yeah, I think the Marine suits.
There's little bits as well. There's at the beginning when before she gets in with the Marines and goes off. She's smoking a cigarette, and there's a scene where it shows her hand hanging down with the cigarette.
It's like she's just giving up, I think.
But I think that looks like an alien hand, and I wasn't sure whether they'd done that on a purpose, because it just seems so like the alien. All the fingers extended with just the.
And I wrote that down in my notes about smoking because there's a lot of films around that sort of area, and it's the smoke-filled rooms. No one tends to smoke that much, but they're all sat there with.
Do you know what's crazy about that? You can't do it anymore. But if you showed a packet, red apple, I think it was something like that, and again Tarantino I think he's made his own up. But there was Marlboro and places like that. If you showed it, Marlboro would pay to have it in your film.
They pay you?
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
So screen advertising. Coca-Cola, people like that. There was always like the first people. If they knew a film was going to be like, if Aliens was coming off the back of Alien, they could have contacted anyone and said, right, we need a car. We need a car in one scene. We need this in one scene. Do you want to be the people that are in it forever? Yeah. So it's like legacy promotion.
Yeah. I suppose if you hit the jackpot with a film that's going to get shown,
particularly
4 decades later.
If a prop is part of the story, that's massive, because then it becomes because films obviously they can give people an audience that you wouldn't get by just if you just smoked, for instance, whatever, and it could be responsible for people starting smoking because it looks cool on screen by your favourite actor.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why does it look cool? I've never understood it.
It does, and vaping doesn't, does it?
No,
vaping really doesn't look cool. No. You're not going to see John McClane in Nakatomi Plaza vaping, are you?
No, no. Load of mafia bosses on a sit down on the table.
And it's mad
because
there's a comedy sketch there.
Yeah.
There's a comedy sketch there.
That one's nice.
Yeah.
What flavour is that?
I'm not keen on this watermelon one, you know.
But yeah, weirdly as well, the only time you ever see it in modern films now is if that film is set then. So if you I just watched a film with DiCaprio. What was it? Once Upon a Time in America. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's with a lot of. I know it's Tarantino as well, but there's a lot of heavy smoking in it. But it's because it's set then. And same with Inglourious Basterds. There's a scene where he puts a ciggy out on someone's pudding. But now, if it's just the generic film setting nowadays, smoking very rarely.
I feel like I've seen it more. I can't think where, but I feel like I've seen smoking more recently in a couple of things. They're probably TV shows as opposed to.
War films is a big one where they'll show.
Yeah, but I mean like set now films.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've started to see smoking come kind of back in a bit.
What was it? I mean, we've totally gone off piste here, but the smoking thing.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah. Weak with peer pressure. But Shelby, he was puffing on a lot, wasn't he?
Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But again, that's set in that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of it will be CGI now, of course. The smoke coming off.
Yeah, but he was. There is such a thing as a film ciggy.
I'm trying to think, who did I see recently smoking?
I can't remember what it has in it, but basically it is something
chocolate.
Else. But he developed something in his lung from that. From Peaky Blinders, he developed an ailment from smoking so many fake ciggies in that.
Yeah, because even smoking fake ciggies is gonna stuff.
But I forget off the top of my head. I'll put the details in somewhere. But this what they change out.
Don't smoke.
It's not hairballs, but it's something else. I can't remember how they do it, but what's in it. But but it does give off as good a, you said about CGI. It does do a good enough job on its own to make it look like a ciggy as well.
Well, it's the first hour. There's no aliens.
Yeah, there's no aliens in the first hour. So then we get there. I'm just going to gently skip through the plot because we can do spoilers, of course, because it's a film that everybody's seen, really. So then we get there, and that's the bit where they go in and they say you can't shoot because of the reactors and that kind of stuff. And just absolutely brilliant scenes of going through the alien created tunnels, nest. But they're kind of in the nest as well.
That's it. It's when they realise that they know that they're there, but we're other, and then they all start. And I think it's Hudson. He goes, "They're coming out the fucking wall."
I think there's a lady, isn't there, with her back to the wall, and then the wall comes alive basically, and that's the first one that you see. And we've got that kind of old video footage on the camera. Always something quite amazing about sci-fi stuff. Even when you watch something like Andor recently. So let's say that there's these parallel universes going off where we're looking at things in the future, and there's lots of stuff in there. They can make spaceships. They can talk to each other telepathically.
Yeah.
They can travel through time. They can beam across space. Yet it seems that everybody in the future in these parallel universes didn't think that screens might become flat. they all thought, no, we're going to keep them as giants.
I don't know. That's
Square
not technically
TVs.
true. Yeah, a lot of stuff is like you get a lot of stuff from the areas.
I mean, Star Wars, they had to do it.
Yeah.
Star Wars, they had to do it, didn't they? Because they
Yeah.
had to obviously keep up with the same stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you think, well, as a people, as a thing,
Yeah, yeah.
that everything else got smaller, apart from TVs and switches.
Yeah.
Switches became bigger
Yeah, what
and
is
big
that?
red buttons.
Red
and-
buttons.
It just
yeah.
looks good on screen.
It does.
Yeah, it
just-
has
it's
a
just-
dramatic
yeah,
effect.
And it's like this with the cameras on the side of the helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big as your
I think
lens
it's,
on your
in that
camera.
scene, well, it's good when they go back and actually showing the screen that they're watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
the-
brilliant.
the-
Yeah, brilliant
what's the guy
idea.
called? Gorman.
Yeah.
Gorman and
Yeah.
Ripley are sat
Yeah.
there watching it, aren't they? And then, because I like Apone as well. Apone's great. He was an actual military guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was in
Yeah, yeah.
Vietnam or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is brilliant. He has
Yeah.
some brilliant lines
This is what,
as well.
going back to what I said to you about how all of them have this like really strong Hollywood action performances. So
Yeah.
nobody sort of like stands out
There's
as a weak one.
Yeah, there's no.
But I mean, Bill
carry on.
Paxton's unbelievable.
Ah, yeah.
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 Oh, we missed the scene.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah, the
I've
bishop
seen
thing,
when we
yeah.
get
Is
introduced
it
to Bishop.
Lars Henriksen? is his
Yeah.
name? Who
Lance
plays
Henriksen.
Lance Henriksen, who plays Bishop, not Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah,
Bishop.
Bishop.
All right, it was the one before. Ash.
Ash, yeah.
Yeah, Bishop with the thing, and don't say we didn't all try that with a ruler.
Yeah,
and
well,
all
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, yeah. and
Well, it was
just-
actually a pair of compasses. You know, they
right,
come
wow.
up with the
Yeah.
pointy end.
It was mad in
I was
Chesterfield.
gonna
We
say,
were
yeah.
real bonkers.
No, I never did that. Yeah, no, I was a ruler or something, and even that hit.
I
Yeah,
did, yeah. There's always
yeah.
one if I can do it really quick. And
yeah, yeah. And then we had a pair of compasses. You know, with a little tiny little spike that came
Yeah,
out
yeah,
then.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
That's,
that
yeah,
explains a
We
lot.
were hard
Yeah.
in Chesterfield. We were off
Focus,
the
guys.
charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
That's why you don't feel anything.
That's
Yeah.
why That's why I only got 3 fingers.
Yeah.
Novocaine.
Yeah. So there's obviously that bit, great scene. So we're in. We've got the fighting going off.
Yeah.
I've just remembered. Spunk. Is it
Spunkmeyer.
Spunkmeyer. What a fantastic
Yeah.
character name. He's he's one of the pilots, isn't he, of the
Yeah.
ship that's dropped him off. And they end up getting trapped. They've already found Newt, of course, haven't they? Before they
Yes.
get to the aliens, they
Yeah.
found Newt. She's
Yeah.
survived. living
Yeah.
in
That was the
little-
first thing they found on like the tracker things, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beeping tracker
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
which is great. Another sound
Yeah.
effect. That even
Yeah.
that's quality.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The sound design for
Yeah.
that. It's gonna, I used to have that as my text message
Oh, did
on
you?
my ringtone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So the back on the ship crashes. Then they're stuck there, aren't they? Which is when the sentry guns kick in.
Yeah.
But when
Sentry guns. That's
yeah,
it.
and when we also then get that absolutely amazing. Well, I'll tell you what. Should we talk about favourite scenes?
Yeah, because I think we're just going through them all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, go on then.
Favourite scene.
As a guest, favorite scene.
Yeah, let me just because I actually wrote a couple, so I'm just gonna have a quick look, and then I'm gonna decide.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's what we've talked about with the finding the aliens and they're in the wall.
Oh right, that
There's
first
the
battle.
famous colonist bit, isn't there, where they're
Yeah.
like, she's still alive,
Yeah.
and like you look at her, because I was young when I watched it, I was thinking, my God, what is
Yeah.
what is that? And I think the line "kill me," like,
Yeah.
it's so like.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
At what point in your thing?
Yeah.
I remember thinking, Jesus
The
Christ.
makeup.
and then-
The makeup was fantastic.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
really
kind
good.
of first battle scene, really.
yeah, because I think, like we said earlier, I didn't see Aliens, and it was the first time you actually really got to properly
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what it was all about, and then the screeching,
Mm.
and the fact that they're all thinking, and then like I mentioned about a poem, like looking at the screens, they all disappearing, the lifelines are dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that bit was just because that goes on for a good 20 minutes.
So
I
I would say that this film is a very perfect 3-act structure. So Hollywood used to stick to a 3-act structure. Now it's like 5 or whatever to be a bit more clever about it. But it is a 3-act structure. The first part, the hour you're talking about, then the shit hits the fan, then the resolution of that. So that kind of massively represents when it goes from Act 1 to Act 2. Yeah, that scene.
Can I just say, because there was another scene that's
You know, you can have an honourable mention.
Director's cut.
Yeah, it's the scene where Burke's dropped the facehuggers and Newt's asleep in the bed.
Yeah.
And Ripley they're under the bed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because she
Correct,
wants to comfort her, and then she hears a noise, and then she sees like the tanks that the facehuggers was in. That scene is great as well, because it's
Do you know
they're
what?
all battling in there.
It's on here, I'm sure it is. But if you ever watch the behind the scenes on that. That'll ruin it. Don't watch the behind the scenes on that because the way they're done
Don't tell us them.
is you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, and then you can't watch it the same again.
Well, I don't want
They
to
do
know.
look,
I
but
don't wanna
again,
know.
they look so real. There's no CGI.
No.
They look so real. The bit where it tightens around the neck, which might
Yeah.
be kind of what
In
bit you're
reverse.
kind of talking.
And
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they pull it off
yeah,
and then do it in reverse. Yeah.
But it looks so good.
Yeah, it
What
does.
so
I
real.
want about that actually, because whoever thought of them things must have been a little bit tapped.
So I
Because
think
the idea, it's choking you, so you're gasping,
Yeah.
and then a thing comes out which looks like an anatomy part, and it goes down your throat. You think, who's thought of that?
Yeah.
That is
I think
Yeah.
one of the great things for the art department on that film is the fact that Ridley Scott went with H.R. Geiger in the first one, because the way H.R. Geiger does his artwork, it very leans itself to that the facehuggers. So that's not. I think that was kind of like a thread for them to pull on and just take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's so good. So yeah, what about your scene?
But the bit we kind of got to in the story, really. So when they're in the room and they've sealed all the doors up and all the rest of it, and then they've got the tracker again, and they've
They're in the
seen a massive life on the
Yeah.
on the tracker.
It's
It's getting
like
closer and
it's
closer, and they say
impossible, it's inside the
50
room.
meters, 10 meters. That's
Yeah.
inside the room.
it's brilliant.
And then they figure out, and he looks up, and they come in
that
over
is
the
so
ceiling.
good. Yeah,
It's
that
absolutely
tension
brilliant.
there. And then that shot when they, again with that high-pitched screeching noise,
Yeah.
when they first open it, they're like just about
Yeah.
to sort
They're
of get
literally there, aren't
Yeah.
they? And
It's
then
so
they all
good.
start coming through
Yeah.
the ceiling.
Yeah. That's
Um,
nice.
And adding the fact that they've got acid for blood is the great, because you
Yes.
could easily just shoot it and then it's done, but because
Yeah.
there's a repercussion from.
Well, they have
And
got
that was
they have got
they
easier
played with
to
that
kill.
with Romulus, didn't they? And I
Yeah.
didn't particularly. I think we discussed this in the past thing. I didn't particularly like that. I
No.
thought it was like a game.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
they have
game
got
you'd be playing
easier
to
to-
avoid it or
Yeah.
something. I didn't really think it was that cool
No.
on screen.
But they have got easier to kill, haven't they? If the films have gone on.
Yeah.
In that, because Hudson's still around then, isn't he? Because he's got on the thing. I love how dramatic he is in the whole thing. To be honest, he's such a panicker. But I think it needs that because Hicks is dead chilled.
Yeah.
Ripley's sort of in control of everything by that
Yeah.
point, isn't she? She's sort of taking control of the whole lot, even though right at the beginning she's like, "I'm not going now. We're no good to you. I'm not a soldier." But she just turns
Yeah.
into this like
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
Ripley.
So it's unreal.
Yeah.
And on that note, you're leading me into
Yeah, so
my
your
favourite
scene.
scene.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
So my favourite scene is the false ending. So like you assume everything's been
yeah.
thing, and then Beck gets the spike through his stomach and gets ripped in half, and then
Bishop. Yeah.
Bishop gets the spike thing, and then the shit really hits the fan,
Yeah.
and that's where that 3-act structure comes in again, because this is a result. This is the resolution. So you kind of thought like it was resolved there, but it's not. And then that whole scene, and obviously the when she's in the
There's like the forklift.
the
So
forklift,
it's- yeah, there's Yeah.
Loader.
The loader.
the
I
loader.
thought when I first watched that, when the tail goes through, because that's Queen Alien, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
what it is. I remember first watched, I thought it was he had a.
A chest burster.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought at first.
Yeah.
But then you turn around and it's massive.
Oh, so
huge
good.
thing.
And the shot there as well. I don't know what lens they use, but the shot where it comes from, like I think it's just out of focus, and I think it pans up. The scale, when you watch that on, you can see the scale of the Queen.
When it goes back,
on
he
screen,
pulls
like,
away from
yeah.
him, and you can see
the
behind.
lens
and
of views,
it's-
I
yeah.
would
Coming
probably
out
say it
of
was a
the
24 or
undercarriage
something,
of
but
the ship,
basically
I
the
think.
way they've done it, you get that scale.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you pick the wrong lens, you don't. You know, sometimes when you got your iPhone
Yeah.
and you go, this is massive, or this is this and this, and then you always say to people, that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the lens.
Yeah.
So if you pick your lens right, you'll actually make all that hard work for people.
Yeah.
And that shot, I just remember that shot where you see him and then he's looking at her and then the stuff coming out of his mouth. You still don't, like you just said, you're a bit confused for a second. But then that reveal, because I've seen it again at I've seen it in the cinema as you know when they've done like a re-release.
Yeah.
It's just so big. Like you just see how big that Queen is.
It's
just
literally
like,
filling
so
the whole
good.
screen
Yeah.
pretty much. isn't
Well,
it?
I watched it, and I was saying this the other day. I watched it on 4K, on 4K
Yeah, right.
disc, on a 4K player on an OLED TV, and it looked absolutely fantastic. It looked like a brand new film.
Yeah.
They've done such a good job of doing the 4K transfer.
Yeah.
It looks absolutely brilliant.
I think. I mean, there was a few bits because I was looking at it through a bit of a different eye last night, rather than just sitting and enjoying it and watching it. But I think some of the effects hold up.
Yes.
Some of
Oh,
the
yeah,
that's 'cause a
some
lot of them
some
are
of the early stuff.
practical.
Look, the only way I could liken it is Superman flying through the sky
Yeah.
in the early sewer, where
Yeah.
it is like the wobbling about a bit.
Is
It's
it
not
composite?
smooth.
Do they call it composite? You know, when
composition.
someone's either in front of a video screen, you know, as you said, the bits with the cinema screen, which is kind of like the Superman flying stuff.
Yeah, or they used to do it with the driving scenes, didn't they?
Yeah,
That's why the Americans, there's always a long joke.
You can always kind of tell them, can't you? There's a couple of bits as well in the first hour, I think, when they're in the loading bay and stuff.
Yeah.
Where you can see the backgrounds, and they're kind of. Is it the main bit I spotted is so when she's gone in after all the mayhem with them coming through the ceiling, everybody basically gets picked off. Hicks and Ripley and Newt are pretty much left. Newt falls down the vent,
fan thing.
and you get your false landing. But then she goes back in. So then she goes back in for Newt, finds the Queen, and there's a composite shot there which I think looks really kind of out. I think it's as she starts blowing the eggs up and there's fire.
Right,
You can see she's superimposed over like a video.
Right. Okay.
But
I know what you mean.
I noticed it then.
But going on that shot as well. If I'm going to pick a second scene as well, but it was the shot again and again. It's the thing with the lenses, is where Newt's in there and then the tail comes out of the water behind her.
Yeah, that's great.
It's just so good.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many. See, you could have 20 each. I mean,
I think so.
There's just so many iconic scenes. I mean, we talked about the hand stab thing. We talked about the doors opening, her coming out in the loader at the end. So much when the Queen's revealed, so you've got the eggs being dropped, and then we pan over the entire size of the thing.
Just from a curious geeky note, I'd have to look at what they shot it on, because that's another one where on cinema, when they do the tracking shot, they track across the eggs, and they're obviously following her eye line as they do it, but they do that as one full take. So it cuts to her reactions, but the actual shot is one take. Yeah. So that it goes across like that, but the pulling out and seeing the scale of it. When you're watching at the cinema, you feel that shit. It's like P&L.
It just looks like it's just a horrible place to be. It's all that gooey, horrible alien stuff with all the pods get ready for the face.
Which I don't think you'd get so much if it would have all been CGI.
You wouldn't.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
maybe with the right CGI people.
Yeah, physical all the way.
But that scene also where she discovers the Queen, she discovers the eggs. Mm-hmm. The Queen sees her. The other aliens start to come in from the passageway.
She goes up
and she threatens with the flamethrower. They get sent back, and as she's backing up, one of the eggs opens, and she looks at the Queen as if to say, "Come on." I thought we were playing fair. You know what I mean? And then she.
I like that because I thought this last night is that because you just think of them as just like mindless beasts, just hell bent on just killing things. But having that scene in makes you realise that that Queen alien can operate an elevator.
Yeah.
Because she goes in a lift and goes.
There won't be many buttons on it, really.
No, I think how they got away with that is it's going up and down automatically.
Oh, is it?
I think that's how they got away with it.
I think it goes up and down, and there's no kind of middle ground.
There was a little guy.
There might have been some helper. So
that reminds me of completely other Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
When he goes in, he's on the floor. So, I can't remember the name of the dog.
It's Droopy.
Droopy,
So we get to the end. So we get the ending where obviously she grabs hold of Newt. She gets up on the platform. Bishop isn't there. That really good scene where she knows the elevator's coming up with the Queen on, and she's bracing for saying, did she say look away? Does she or something to Newt, or don't look baby or something like that?
Yeah, keep your eyes closed or something.
And then Bishop comes.
And the music when Bishop comes back is so good.
So
as you're going through this now, I mean, we all know it's a great script for that action film. As we're going beat by beat, that in and of itself, for a movie that size, to constantly have an interesting beat in a film, that you're not just filling fluff to
every bit I've mentioned is epic. It's absolutely fantastic.
I don't think there's much filler in it.
No.
I can't think of anything that doesn't really mean anything.
And even going back to what we said about the director's cut, normally director's cut, when they put it back in, I would say 50% of the time you're like, I can see why they left it out. That one, clearly that was only because of time. You can see
it's 2 hours 20 minutes, the standard version, so it's a long film anyway.
That was a long film for back then.
It was, and studios used to hate it. They used to hate it because there was this weird thing about movies where people, if it was over the 2 hour mark, it had to be something epic, like Ben-Hur. It had to be something epic, So most films would constantly be on the case of the directors when they was asking for dailies and stuff like that. Need to get it down. Need to get it down. Need to get it down.
Yeah.
I was just going back to that bit where she's on the thing and the alien queen's pressed floor 10 or whatever, and she's going up there listening to this music. But it's I like
Start
it.
the music.
Yeah. But when Ripley's obviously got their faces, she's like, "Damn you, Bishop." I like it because if you remember right at the beginning, because of what happened in Ash in the first one, she don't like synthetic people, not whatever she called them. But she almost gained trust back into it, and then it all went away again when she realised that thought, oh, he's gone, he's actually has left me.
So that's what I'm talking about, the beats. So that's like mini plot points within your plot, and those beats sometimes tend to be, you'll get writers where people will be like, right, this is a great scene, but they can't happen immediately after each other, so let's join them up. That doesn't seem to happen in this film. Every little plot point has its own thing to get you there. So it's like a big scene, big beat, and then another beat that you're like, this is cool, this is cool, and then like the Bishop bit where he gets singing out, and then even the bit where Bishop's like getting blown across the thingy and stuff like that, and then the alien's like pulling up the grating to get into there. That's to get you to the bit where she comes out and says which would be my favourite line.
So let's do favourite lines then.
So I guess I get to go start then.
Yeah, you start.
So mine's obviously
get away from her, you bitch.
Mine as well.
Yeah, that's one of those times where, you know, mostly Americans, but you know when the plane lands and people clap. It's kind of like I can imagine.
He does that every time. By the way.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like in America, if you've ever watched movies in a cinema in America, or anywhere else like in the world, I tend to go and watch movies.
Yeah, I've seen them in America. Yeah,
and they definitely react differently.
They do.
And I just imagine that would have been a moment in the cinema where the Americans just went, "Fuck
Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in the cinema, we're a bit more reserved, so I think in the cinema we'd have just been sat there going.
Well, yeah, when I went to go watch Endgame, obviously some years ago, I went on my own. I don't mind going to cinema on my own. And there was a lad and some group he was with, and in the scene where
on your
Captain
left.
America, and all that stuff, he started crying, right? And you could see people looking as if to say, "What is he doing?" Because you can't show any emotion in there. You've just got to sit with your hands underneath your legs and stuff. It's weird, isn't
I got a lump in my throat.
But I see loads of videos when, like, I think Minecraft one recently, I don't know what scene it was, but they're throwing popcorn around.
They are, chicken jockey.
Chicken
jockey.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so mine is Get Away From Her, You Bitch.
And mine is Get Away From Her, You Bitch. What's your line?
Stop your grinning and drop your linen.
That would, that would have been my second.
And I also have assholes and elbows.
Oh yeah.
Well,
there was loads from a poem, really, because he's a proper sergeant major, isn't he? You can just imagine it. But I think it's because I don't want to say just yet, but he's probably my favourite character. I think it's because I always liked him when I was younger because he was just such a flapper but cool with it. And it's Bill Paxton.
Game over, man. Game over. Another great line.
Probably
the one that's been used the most, actually, in just kind of day-to-day pop culture.
I looked up that actually last night. I didn't realise any of that. I only read it up last night that it turned into something quite big. That wasn't it? A lot of people always go around and say it, game over, man.
Oh yeah. We definitely said it's cool.
He had an air of like that sort of 80s surfer dude about him. You know, the way he talked and the way he sort of demeaned.
Which is kind of how he is in most. But they cast him right.
I've seen a lot of people kick off about that, like in like comments and stuff like that. When you see people on social media about his character, everyone loves it. But you're always going to get somebody that says something, and then a lot of people are like, you just wouldn't have somebody with that level of anxiety with a high sort of thing. But then you got other people with thoughtful answers, like saying that these are like the outcasts, and these are like they're
never been in that situation.
Yeah, they're not the actual Marines. They're all mercenaries.
Yeah.
So like if you're not going to get the Marines,
everything's organised.
So Hudson's your favourite character?
It was a toss up him and Hicks because I liked Hicks as well, but Hudson does pick
character.
Ripley, I'm sorry,
Ripley,
that would be cliche, but she just defined the action woman.
Yeah,
she is. Let's be frank. By the time she gets in that loader at the end, she is as hard as fucking nails. I mean, she is one of the hardest characters ever on film.
You just won't mess with her.
She's just
no chance. Yeah, and it's quite nice because the alien is obviously doing it to protect her children, and she's doing it to
Yeah,
protect Newt. It's like a real nice two mothers going at it. Get off
And
mine.
Hicks, the Hicks character has slowly become less
not relevant.
effective, if you like,
yeah.
in the fight, and she's slowly become harder and harder
she
and
had
harder.
to really step up, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Still recording.
Yeah, we're still going.
Still going.
Yep. Go on, keep going.
Yeah. So my favourite character is Burke. So we mentioned
You are a Burke.
We mentioned Paul Reiser at the minute. I think he's the way he plays that is absolutely perfect. He's an absolute slime ball.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was going to say. Slime ball. If they did retro Oscars, you know, like after, because a film had come out a long time ago, but a character had become so iconic and so absolutely brilliant and memorable and loved by so many people. Surely best supporting actor for Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
He's just
And also,
perfect. He's
really good in
absolutely perfect.
That was in a time when the Oscars genuinely gave awards for good work. You know what I mean? Now I think things get a little bit political. So giving an actor in a film like that a top award is so few and far between.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not deemed an Oscar.
Yeah.
Film.
So but in those days there would have been a chance at that. You know what I mean? He would
But
have
I think the character's perfect. I think he plays it perfectly.
It's good to see what Jamie was on about earlier is like the progression of. It's good when you're watching a film like Ripley goes from pretty distraught, don't know what's going on, to this badass, and then.
Well, he goes from being her only friend to her actual worst enemy.
And they're waking up pretty quickly, and you know he's doing it for the money.
And then it goes to your scene about with the face huggers.
It's like a space version to a Wall Street slime ball, isn't he? That's like, if he was in a film about money and 80s sort of culture where they're driving fast Lamborghinis and stuff, he'd be the slime ball in that one. He's got everything down to a T.
So we're at the end. We get to the loaded stuff. So you mentioned score earlier, but score by James Horner. And I said this to you yesterday. There's a really good piece of music that features twice. Once when the ship's flying away and the place is blowing up. Yep. And I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's dun 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 dun
it is,
dun
well, we
dun
said
dun
it,
dun.
just rhythmical stabs.
Rhythmical stabs. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's the same again. So Ripley in the loader fights the alien. Absolutely brilliantly done. You wouldn't look at that and think that's not an alien fighting a lady who's in a big machine. Alien and her drop down into the whatever you'd call that vent.
The airlock shaft.
Airlock.
Airlock shaft.
Yeah. Alien dispatched, hangs off, falls away.
Yeah.
Hangs off their leg, which is a bit...
but again, but it's another false ending because you think, but then we get this epic climb up this ladder to get out, where that piece of music then kicks again, dun, 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 as the things like absolutely brilliant. You've got Bishop, as you say, flying around everywhere.
Yeah.
She's trying to go. A bit of special effects, by the way.
Yeah.
Really
and then that iconic, which I'm sure has been used many times, and you probably told me, Jamie, somewhere it has been, where she comes up over the ladder and the first hand goes over the top. And then the second, and the music's epic and absolutely brilliant.
Well, I mean, that's from Temple of Doom as well, isn't it? You know, with when they think that.
It's the kind of the hero shot, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it
they
died
never
with
really
a
make
vengeance.
any sense because like you go one hand and the other hand, and you think, what's he fucking holding on with? But but you know, it's
you just
cinema,
know there's
baby.
someone at the bottom just pushing them up.
Yeah. Especially on that Indiana Jones one on Temple of Doom, because not only is he lifting his two hands up like that, he's holding one of those stones
Oh God!
on a broken walkway. Yeah, brilliant.
I think Died with a Vengeance. I think where the train scene, where the underground train goes off the rails, and Bruce Willis is down there, and then he kind of does that coming over the train and stands on it, and you know he's all right.
Yeah, it's in so many films like the hand.
Did you think it sort of finishes quick after that bit? It just they're just getting put into it.
Yeah, it kind
do you know what I mean? It just goes from this mad
do you know how I think they get away with that? Is that false ending? So they get away with that a little bit because they kind of like do that little bit of thing between her and him before
There's
it
kind
gets
of three
stabbed.
big endings.
So it kind of feels like that ending was started there, but it got interrupted. So I think that's how they get away with that. Personally, that's
I mean,
how I
they
think.
get away with it. It just feels like it goes from literally an alien might be dragging you out into deep space, and then they're all going to bed.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
So overall, then, is there anything else we want to say about Aliens?
No, I think it's one of the few films that gets it all right. Like the costume, the makeup, the sound design,
Dialogue.
the script, the editing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the direction and the acting. It's like one of those. It's probably a perfect action film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class it as that.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With an element of horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it does get the tension going, and where they're pretty much nearly always based onto the scene as well, don't they? They don't just...
Do you think part of? I mean, we can mention the sequels, but we can't. But do you think part of the reason that Alien 3 did as badly as it did is because,
Which I like, by the way. I think we spoke about this.
the
It's
first
not
bit where we'd
bad,
built up those characters and aliens, which
Yeah.
we've all said we adored, even the baddies, and then in the first 2 minutes of Alien 3,
Michael Biehn's dead.
Michael Biehn's dead, Newt's also dead.
Yeah.
That before the film even starts,
Yeah.
it's in the title
Yeah,
sequence.
so
isn't
you-
it?
Just dropped off, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's half of the reason why Alien 3 at the time wasn't
Bishop's
accepted as
Bishop's
such
still in
because
it, though,
It
that's-
was. It
that's
wasn't
quite
necessarily a flop, by the way.
No, but it was.
But yeah,
I know
it was,
a lot of
it was
people were pissed
critically
off.
sort of
yeah.
hit a bit because of a massive tone shift.
Was
Yeah.
that
Now,
it?
David Fincher's,
Is
that was
so?
his first ever film, first ever feature. He was doing music films before that. There's another story about him and he looks back at that today as if it wasn't really his own film because we was talking about people getting the time down and stuff like that. He was getting day after day after day interference to the point where he was just like, I'm not fucking doing this. And a lot of it was the fact that he wanted to go in a direction with the story that made it a little bit more what it was, but they wanted it to sort of stick to that 3-act action film. And I think one of the things that they relied on heavily was the plot story that they was on a prison thing, so therefore there was no weapons. For me,
I enjoy it. I think it's a good. I film.
really like it.
Yeah.
But I can see why people are pissed off with
the effects aren't as good
losing
in
the
it.
characters.
The CG, because it's the first one they
Yeah,
used
yeah.
proper CG.
Yeah.
And some of that's a bit shady.
Yeah.
And also, all of a sudden, in that one, you see a lot of first-person perspective of the xenomorphs, and it's like a really warped, weird thing. I didn't like that either. So there's bits of it that I don't particularly like. But as a film, I think Charles Dance is brilliant in it.
Yeah.
As a film, I really liked it. I thought it was super tense. It went back to the horror. It's more like Alien than Aliens. But I don't mind the first 3. Let's not talk about everything that came afterwards.
Yeah.
But I like the first 3 as a trilogy.
But going kind of back to my point, I still can't watch Alien 3 without being slightly pissed off that they killed those beloved characters so
they did it a
quickly
little
without.
bit in,
But I think that was
without
go on.
any kind of.
Prometheus into Covenant,
Yeah.
didn't they? 'Cause, I can't remember the girl's name now, but
Yeah.
I mean, we can't go through them all. But we can. It's all kicking off.
I
We
will
can't
pick
go
it
through
up
all the
as well.
sequels, though, but we can say we're very much looking forward to the Alien TV show,
yes,
Yes.
definitely.
which is
Alien
out.
Earth.
Alien Earth.
I
Yeah.
want to say now I don't know anything about it, and that's all I want to
I've seen the
and
trailers.
And to be honest, I think it's when we talk about trailers and a lot of people complain about they've shown you everything.
Yeah.
They've shown you pretty much the plot, and you can guess how it ends. This is not doing that for me. So I am same thing. So I've seen the trailers, and I'm still like,
What he's
I'm
done.
not sure.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I like going into it. Anything that I definitely know I'm going to watch regardless. I try not to know anything about
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of the
Very
lot of the little snips of the trailers at the minute are talking about. There's a lot of dialogue around. There's 5 monsters. This ship has crashed, and there's 5 monsters. I'm not sure I'm that keen on that. I don't like.
Is it
I
when?
like there just
when
to
is
be
it
the
set?
alien we know and
I
love.
don't mind knowing that. When is
Not
it
long
set?
after. I think it's we're talking a couple of decades.
Well, like Aliens.
I think it's supposed to be set at the same time as Alien,
Alien, yeah.
Or Alien.
or even before,
So it's even before
okay.
Romulus.
because
then.
we don't
really.
know that they've come from
Yeah.
wherever.
But
they've
there's
come from.
also
Anyway.
supposed to be sequels to Romulus.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be.
So because
think
it
they
did well.
have.
Romulus did well.
Yeah.
In the
No,
box
I
office.
bet-
It's the Alien is a great monster.
Yeah.
It's a great.
But then there was like the Resurrection. It was just I watched that not long ago.
We get
hard
we get
work.
Jelly Baby Alien at the end. It turns into a
Yeah.
big jelly baby.
It's very weird.
It's hard work. That film is
Yeah.
such a hard
Because
work.
Ripley's not even Ripley in that, is she?
No.
It's like
She's
a
a-
weird
she's a clown.
sort of
Clown.
Yeah.
there. Very odd.
Yeah,
Winona
I
Ryder's
can't.
very badly cast.
Oh
Yes.
God,
It is.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, there's some decent actors in it. It's hard work. It's like
The best bits in that are the bits between is it Brad Dourif, where he's the scientist and he's basically teasing it as it's through the glass, isn't it? They're all
Yeah.
in like cages, aren't they, outside? They've been
You know, I think
studying
I've
him
watched
and
it
whatever.
about twice, 3 times.
Yeah.
I've not watched
It's.
it.
I've watched it within the last 2 months. and-
Well, I think we should stop there because if we carry on with the sequels, we're going to end on a kind of a downer, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens we
I
love.
think it's going to be a resounding 5 across the board. 5 stars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
All
Looking
day.
forward to the TV show.
Yeah.
And that brings
All
us
right.
to the end.
So, Cooky, thank you so much, brother.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
matey.
thank you.
And thanks
All
for the
good.
pizza.
Again, yeah, it's all
And
right.
good luck with everything going forward. We'll probably have you back on in a year or something.
Yeah.
When
working on
are
the
your
film.
next
What-
popping up?
This weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're at.
Barrowfest.
Oh,
But you
right.
probably won't. It'll be 2 weeks ago, won't it?
yeah.
No, we might get this one out. We'll see.
Grubfest is where I'll be.
Grubfest.
Grubfest
Grubfest
down
is the next big
Cleethorpes
one, end of
What's the
July.
dates on that?
End of July, 25th, 6th and 7th. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you there.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, signing off then.
Keep smiling.
See you later, folks.